to Get Real with Asil, a woman empowerment podcast hosted by Asil Al-Baba. Hello and welcome to another episode of Get Real with Asil. Today is Monday, April 9th, 2018. As I mentioned on my previous episode, this episode has been, or is being recorded actually, while I'm in Costa Rica. I took a break from the cold Toronto and I came to the beautiful warm Costa Rica, and I've been learning how to surf for the first time in my life. Such an incredible experience. And the interesting thing is, my first day arriving to this retreat, my wallet was stolen, and in it were all the cards and the money that I brought with me to spend on my vacation here. So you can only imagine how devastating and hurtful it was initially. But then I realized that I'm here for a short period of time, and this incident can either make or break the vacation, and I just wanted to make the most out of it. So far it's been working out fine, and it's really interesting how the attitude you go about dealing with whatever life throws at you can change literally every outcome possible. So I just decided to look at it as an adventure and just enjoy my vacation regardless. And it's been the case so far. So without further ado, what I've prepared for this episode is actually an interview with the owner of the place that I'm staying at. In chatting with her, I realized that she was a woman from Prague, Czech Republic, and it's very interesting for me how somebody can come from Europe while visiting Costa Rica, just decides to stay here, establish a business, and she's been living here for 16 years and it just became part of her life. So I just find that's an interesting story to share, because a lot of people are stuck in jobs they don't like, and they're scared of taking that leap of faith into the unknown, which she, in this case, did. So I'm really excited to be sharing her journey, and I hope that you can extract lots of lessons and inspiration for you to ultimately lead the lives that brings you the most joy, or whatever life it is that you dream about, because it is possible. So here you go. Enjoy the conversation with Gabriela. Hello everybody, I'm sitting here with the owner of Funky Monkey in Costa Rica, Gabriela. How are you today?
Well, thank you. Very well.
Well, we are just having such a great afternoon. It's Costa Rican weather, which is like 25 degrees. And I just met Gabriela because she is the owner of Funky Monkey. And in chatting with her, I realized she has a great story to share. So this is why she's here with me today. So thank you so much for agreeing to talk with me on my podcast.
You're welcome.
So maybe we can start with, how did you end up coming from Czech Republic, a country where it's in Europe and it's considered a developed country, leaving everything behind that's familiar to you as far as your job and everything you know, and coming to all the way to Costa Rica and starting a business here. How did this thing start?
Well, it was not my idea to come to Costa Rica and start a business. I just wanted to escape a little bit the busy life that I had back in Czech Republic. I was already working for a German company. I had a pretty good job, but I was pretty much working 20 hours a day. So it was a lot of work, and I did not really enjoy my life because career was the number one.
Yeah. So you had a good career, but you had no life, essentially.
Pretty much,
okay.
Yes. And actually traveling was not that common because I used to live in communism, so we were not allowed to travel outside the country.
Yeah.
Until I was maybe 16, so this is when I went the first time and saw the ocean, which was something incredible for me. So I always really loved summer, and I loved the sun, and I loved the heat, and I didn't really like cold. I mean, I used to ski since I was 3, but
yeah,
I always preferred the sun and the ocean. I used to dream about myself driving on a beach on a horse.
Nice.
So, and it's funny because it happened.
Yeah.
You know, it's when it came to be a reality. But when I when I decided to go for vacation for, let's say, 3 weeks vacation to Costa Rica with a friend that mentioned that to me. I didn't even know where Costa Rica was, or I knew where it was, but I thought it was an island. I wasn't really that. I didn't really know that. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with that. But I really wanted to go and try something totally different out.
How old were you when you
I
came?
was 26 already, so it's like
Yeah.
not that young for traveling, right? I used to, as I said before, I used to travel before, but in Europe most of the
Yeah.
time, and I also worked 2 years in Germany, and I sent to the States, but I was really missing.
A balance?
Something. No, I really always wanted to go far away from home.
Okay.
You know, just for myself to try something out.
Yeah.
To see if I can, and I could.
Yeah.
So I bought the tickets, and me and my friend, a guy friend, came to Costa Rica. We were together maybe for about 1 month. We started working in Costa Rica because, as a Czech person, Czech people from Czech Republic didn't really have that much money in that time still. So
Yeah.
I did do some good money, but I also didn't even think that I'm going to stay in Costa Rica. So the idea was always to come and work.
Yeah.
I knew I'm not gonna stay only 3 weeks. I knew I'm going to stay longer. The idea was not to stay in Costa Rica, but maybe go to States.
Okay.
But it happened that I liked Costa Rica so much that
You
I
just
actually
ended up
never
staying.
went to the States.
Wow, and you've
I
been
ended
here
up
since
staying.
you were 26.
Yes.
Amazing.
So I came for, let's say, 3 weeks vacation, and after 3 years, that was the first time I came back home.
Wow.
Yeah. I never really made it to the States either. I mean, in that time, of course, I did already go
Yeah, to visit.
to visit, but yeah,
So,
I
like,
think
looking
it's-
back at that younger version of yourself, what do you think was the biggest fears that you were experiencing at that time? And like, I guess by looking at your fears, like, what would you tell others that are holding themselves back from trying new things in life?
Well, I thought that's a really good question. I thought that I'm missing on something. I wanted to see more. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to see other cultures. I actually knew that I'm not gonna stay in Czech Republic.
Okay. So you had a fear of missing out if you didn't take risks
Yes.
or chances in
Yes.
life. Okay.
And also, I wasn't happy, so I said, why should I do something that, even though I was earning good money for Czech Republic, not for international, but I don't know. I just wanted to go away and try something else.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you absolutely have a lot of courage for you to even want to do that in times where it wasn't as common as you were mentioning. Because I feel like now with the millennial generation, it's way more common. We see stories of people on Instagram constantly traveling and experiencing and just doing things differently than what is the norm. So it's becoming a little bit more popular, but to do it in a time where that's just unheard of, it takes a lot of courage.
Exactly. I was always a little bit extremist. I always I always did things that are crazy, and that was something that was very satisfying for me.
Yeah,
So that might be one of those too.
of course.
I think I started to get bored. I just wanted to get away from, I don't know,
Life as you
going,
know
walking
it.
to the work and waking up at 7 and working from 8 and to until 8 practically. You know, like, and just because, and I was working for somebody, which was also not that fun.
Absolutely.
So yes, I think I wanted to go somewhere where nobody goes.
Yeah.
When I told to my parents, my mom was crying and my dad, they were both trying to find out what is Costa Rica about. Of course, it was very dangerous place and non-developed and etc. But they didn't really know either, like what to expect from here.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of didn't either, but I did not have fear at all.
Very interesting.
Something said to me, I was actually very impressed when I came to Costa Rica that it was just normal people, like everything was okay.
Oh yeah, traveling
Just a
gives you
little-
perspective. Like sometimes we hear on the news what it's like to be in another country from what the news portrays it to be, but it's not necessarily the truth.
No, it depends how you see it too. So how you, if you want it to be a disaster, it's probably going to be a disaster.
Yeah,
If you want it to be good, it's probably going to be good.
for sure. Now that you live here, and how long have you been here?
I've been in Costa Rica for 16 years already.
16. Wow. So now that you've been here that long, how do you keep yourself motivated? Because I feel like eventually, like now having a tropical weather and living in this condition is no longer new and exciting. It is now the normal life.
So I think that this is a perfect life to live, because when I look back, when I go back and visit my parents and see my friends and they're complaining, they're non-stop complaining about how cold is it, how hard is it in the work, how hard is it for the kids. They're complaining, they're not happy. I can't really imagine that I would raise my kids somewhere else than here.
Interesting.
It's so free, it's so different. And it was luck. I practically came back to Costa Rica with not no money, but not enough money. I was not thinking I will ever stay here and build a hotel. That was not what I was studying at all. It was.
So just to give the audience a little bit of perspective, so the hotel here is shared. Why don't you tell us about the amenities that you have here, so people know what business you operate?
It's a lodge. When we came 15 years ago, me and my husband now, because obviously I met the boy and we decided to buy a land that in that time was a really good inversion, because it was not that expensive. It was just a little town with a couple houses and beautiful ocean.
Yeah.
And so we bought a land and we started to build. And from the beginning, the idea of the hotel was having something where you make friends, when you socialize, where you have fun, and where you meet other people. Okay, so it's not a resort with private rooms.
Yeah.
That you're in your room and that's it. It's the idea was always to get people together.
That's such a great idea. I love it here.
And so we started with low budget people, travelers, because travelers were usually on the beginning surfers, just people with backpack and they didn't really look for luxurious comfort or luxury. So we started with bigger rooms. We wanted to staying at for like for sharing the room. So it was, and then we also did some private bungalows. So right now we have 10 units.
Okay.
And we also have more luxury units because this is what the town has grown, and this is what we have to do.
The
to
demand
cope with
is there now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To cope with that. There's a lot of places, so we also have to work with competition.
Where did the name Funky Monkey come from? It's such a cool name.
We were just sitting with some friends on the beach having a bonfire, and we already started to build, and we knew that it's going to be a hotel or lodge. I said I want something. We had like a million names,
Okay.
But then I was like, well, I want something funny, and also with monkeys because there is monkeys. So maybe monkeys, something. And a friend of us said, "Funky Monkey," and I said, "Yeah, well, good.
Yeah, it
not bad."
resonated.
Yeah, and the name Lodge made it a little bit more Funky Monkey
Lots.
Lodge.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting. So, because you meet a lot of people, some are staying for a week and some are staying for months. How do you find it that are people easier to connect with when they're on a vacation? You feel
way easy.
that's
Way
very
easy.
interesting. I find it the same.
Not everybody though. Some people need to relax a little bit more, and I also understand why they sometimes can't do it on the beginning, because I also did not relax the first time when I came to Costa Rica. But usually they do. They also the weather is it's hot and it's humid and it's tropical, and there is bugs and there is iguanas and our units are not totally closed, so you do get sometimes a spider inside or ants those little things are sometimes hard for some people to understand. But people that really come, they usually want to come and get to know this. The weather,
They want to
the area.
experience
They
everything.
want to experience it. They are not afraid of adventure, let's say.
Yeah.
Some people, and it's just very little amount of people, they just shouldn't come.
Of course.
Because they're not going to relax. They just need their
Luxury
luxury
or whatever it
their
is.
AC and their everything.
What are some of the lessons that stand out for you when you reflect on your experience? Whether it's lessons you've extracted from the people you've met or the experience of just moving to a country and establishing a new life?
Well, I didn't quite understand what you're asking me.
So what are some of the lessons that stand out for you? Well, let's talk about first yourself, and then we can talk about from the people that you've met, because some people live here for 3 months or a long period of time. Yesterday, actually, we just said goodbye to one of the people who was staying here for 3 months, Nathan. Such an amazing spiritual guru. And in spending 2 nights with him, I already learned so much from him and his experiences. So I was just wondering if there's certain people across that left a certain impact on you, whether it's an aha moment or a lesson or something.
Oh yes, a lot of people. I actually learned so much from people.
Of course.
I even from the maybe I'm just jumping from part to part, but when I came down to Costa Rica, I was working for accommodation and some extra money in a hotel in Puerto Viejo, and the owner, she was German, and that was actually my first month in Costa Rica, and it was very hard because she was so angry person and so stressed and so not happy, and she was very rude and very mean. I was there for maybe 20 days, and I did make quite good money for Costa Rica, but then I could not handle her behavior, and she was not a good person. But now, when I do this, it's also like, okay, to own a hotel, it doesn't really mean that you are always super happy. Like you get through a lot of stress. So now I understand what is going on. But also, that was the first person that I actually learned a lot.
But it's also how you deal with the stress. Like, I don't feel that there's ever be a time where there's no stress in anyone's life. There's always something to deal with, but it's how you deal with it that makes a difference.
So that's why. So I actually, in that moment, I said, I would never be like that. Like, this is so horrible. And then sometimes I really think about her a lot.
Really?
Sometimes I get to a point that I think about her and I remember how she was so not happy, and I breathe in and say, okay, I'm not going to do the same. However I could.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting that someone you met like 16 years ago still leaves an impact.
And also, like, I learned so much. I never studied to be in a hotel industry.
Yeah.
So I studied a lot. I learned a lot.
You
actually
self-studied. So what did you rely on to study for? Like, did you surf the internet or buy certain books, or did you just go?
Everything was experience. Because
yeah.
before we actually started before I met my husband, I was in Costa Rica for about 6 months, and I was working in different places. So I started to work in a bar after the Caribbean side. Came to Manuel Antonio, and I got a job in a bar. It was very funny because on the beginning I never did that before. I was not very good drinking either, so for me, like, the difference between vodka and rum was none. But I learned. So then I was waitressing. There also everything was new for me, and also watching people. And then I was helping in a hotel. I was even helping cleaning rooms. All this was not studying.
Sure.
It's just something experience. And when we started this hotel, I did everything. I did even the restaurant.
Interesting. But was there ever self-doubt because you went to school, you studied, you said you were in marketing?
Not really self-doubt. I was not.
So we just had to pause it for a second there because Matteo, who's the son of Gabriela, was just crying for a little bit, and that's the best definition I've seen for work-life balance. That's really what it means to balance your work and your life. It's just incredible. So we had to take a short pause, but we're back, and the question we were tackling was self-doubt. What did you do when you had self-doubt, and how did you deal with it? And you were talking about that you studied marketing in your background, but here you started learning from experience. But I'm just wondering, along your journey, did self-doubt ever appear, and how did you deal with it when it did?
I didn't really have self-doubt. I say thank you to the universe every day.
So you expressed a lot of gratitude.
That I actually made that step.
Wow.
And just left everything that I was doing or building and went away. Not that I can't say that my childhood was bad. I love my parents. They made the best. They're still with me.
Yeah.
They come and see me, and I go and visit them too.
Nice.
I still have a lot of friends, and I love them a lot. Everybody. I just think that I'm better here than I would be
there. Yeah, you belong here. You established a home for yourself.
I think so. If anything happened to me, my both sons are Costa Rican. My husband is Argentinian. But Costa Rica, it's very easy to live in, I think. Sometimes the only self-doubt is, so let's say if I have to go back, would I would I ever be able to do anything back there?
Yeah.
Because also I don't really go with the flow back in Europe. I go with the flow down here.
Yeah.
I don't care about politics. I don't care. You just start to think different. I was never religious, and I also was never spiritual. But here I learned to be a little bit more spiritual, to believe in
Something.
lots of things.
Yeah. Yeah, the interesting thing is not only were you tackling a whole different country and culture, but a whole different industry, and to have the confidence you did and not to self-doubt yourself, that's really very, very rare to see. People doubt themselves in things they're familiar with, let alone something they're absolutely no idea about. And I think that's so interesting to see, that maybe it's interesting, but because maybe if it's something you actually were familiar with, self-doubt would have appeared then. But this is very foreign to you on every level, and maybe that's why you didn't have self-doubt, because you just didn't know what to expect.
Maybe
it's very interesting.
Yeah, that might be. Also, like it's you don't really have so many troubles here. You know, you don't really
it's very laid back.
It's very laid back. Like if you come half an hour late for a meeting, nothing happens. Actually, you shouldn't be coming much before, because then you're weird. All these things.
Oh, that's funny. So if you're punctual, you're weird.
Exactly. So
that is hilarious.
This is really funny. So I always also like I had to learn these things.
Of course, and you have to learn
because I was always
punctual.
5 minutes before everywhere.
Yeah.
But when I started to be 5 minutes before here, I felt bad, because it's not like that. Okay, since I was small, my mom used to tell me, everything you can do today, don't leave it till tomorrow.
Yeah.
So here, if you can do something today, you can do it tomorrow too. No problem.
Yeah.
Okay,
so they promote procrastination almost. It's very interesting. So because you've seen what it's like in Europe, which is very similar to the Western world, and you've seen what it's like in Costa Rica, which is pretty much the other spectrum, who got it right? I mean, because one looks. I mean, Costa Rica looks, or seems to me, like one extreme, and the Western is the other extreme.
Who got it right? Actually, I still follow my mom's advice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so I also like, it doesn't really just looks like I do nothing well. I work 24 hours a day too.
Yeah.
But I work for myself, and I work in something that I like. I love to have people around me. I love to talk to people. I like to get to know other people. It not always is how it sounds. Like I can get together with people that are really not happy, and that's also not that easy either.
Yeah.
But I think I still I also make my own time, so I do go to the beach every day. I do find
time for yourself,
time for myself. I like surfing, so even if I can go and surf every day, how I would love, I still can do it.
Yeah.
And I'm in my bikini right now.
Yeah.
So
you come to work in your bikini.
I come to work in my bikini.
That is just incredible.
Exactly. I wake up and I drink a cup of coffee and answer my emails, and this is my office time.
Yeah.
And I look from my balcony on the ocean.
Yeah.
So I think it's a dream.
Yeah.
For some people.
Of course it is.
Many times I think about when I get, because I also get stressed, and I also start to be like anxious, because I feel that I work too much, and then I sit down and say, well, I used to work in this office with AC, and I couldn't go out for hours. So I should actually it's impossible to compare this.
Yeah.
So this is very nice lifestyle.
Yeah.
So
Do you have any daily rituals that you do to help you maintain your balance or mental health? Like, do you practice any rituals? Whether it's meditation or yoga.
Okay, so I don't have time for meditation, unfortunately. I am a very busy person, but for example, I used to hate working with the computer, and now this is where I actually like it. After like so busy time and talking to people and the employees and making sure that everything is good and everyone is happy, I would sit down in the evening when my kids are asleep and take my computer and start to respond emails, and this is my relaxing time.
Yeah, it's ironic, isn't it?
It's ironic, but it's actually, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to take the computer, sit down, and relax, and play, and
Just do your
respond
thing.
everything.
The thing is, you're a leader in many ways because you're an entrepreneur for your own business, you're a mother, and these require leadership skills for it to thrive and grow. So do you feel that leadership in countries like this, where it's laid-back culture, is different than leadership in Europe or Western, or is it what is the leadership style that you have? How would you describe yourself as a leader? And do you think it would have had to be different for it to work in other countries?
I don't think I'm the leader. Actually, I am the leader. Maybe maybe because I have employees.
Yes, you're the
But
boss.
I am the boss. But I think that I'm a pretty good boss. And it's hard for me to be a boss too, because this is not the way I was grown, and I still learn. I had to when I started having employees,
Yeah.
it was every time I had somebody that I worked with, and this somebody was leaving, that I was emotionally sad. I was
And I imagine you see a lot of
crying,
turnover here.
So and I had to learn to not to get so deep and
Yeah.
attached.
Yeah.
So because we work with volunteers, so we have every 2 months I have different people that some are staying longer, some are staying shorter. So I had to also get a little bit more. ¿Puedes bajar el volumen, por favor? So
We just asked them to lower the volume down so we can properly record, because this is the Costa Rican culture after all. It's music and it's livelihood and it's just beautiful.
So I had to learn to be a leader. I'm not really I'm not the boss that I should maybe be.
But here's the interesting thing though. Leadership is not necessarily being a boss that people fear or keep their distance from. That's a form of leadership that's old and it doesn't work anymore. I felt that the reason you didn't consider yourself a leader is because you're more within your team, and you're part of the team, and you're not scared of rolling your sleeves and doing whatever needs to be done. But that's the perfect leadership, in my opinion.
Okay, well, this is something that I also had to learn. It came to me. I just followed it.
Yeah. So do you feel it's something that people are necessarily born with, or is it something they learn as they go?
I think this is something that you learn as you go. At least in my case,
Yeah.
I was not born with that. I don't think so,
And-
because once you have a responsibility,
Yeah.
usually this is you have to take care about that.
Of course.
It's like being a mom.
Of course. So would you have done anything differently now that you look back at your experiences?
Some things,
Okay.
but not really. I've made mistakes, but I already forgot them for sure.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but yeah, maybe That
Was there a specific mistake that taught you a really interesting lesson that you can share with us?
Oof. Well, yes, I used to say to clients what I thought, that it's absolutely a mistake because this is
So you
not
used to
good.
speak your mind, basically.
Exactly.
Oh, very interesting.
So, I had to learn thanks to TripAdvisor and Lonely Planet and all these things. You have to be nicer person.
Oh, that's so interesting.
But also, like, it's not really something that nice because I learned to be more fake too.
Ah,
So I was always very open
authentic, yeah.
and very authentic. So I am with my friends, but I learned to play
Yeah, and the customer service
in the
field.
customer first. Yeah.
That is so interesting.
So even if even if in this moment, and it's not just my case, it's everywhere, I guess.
yeah,
The guest is number one, and it doesn't matter what he says and how he says, he's always
Right.
gonna be right.
yeah. That is interesting.
And you have to smile and make it you. So I don't know if it's a mistake or not.
Yeah.
But it's something.
It is a learned lesson, basically,
learned
to
lesson.
communicate the message more diplomatically. Okay, interesting. So what is the future goals for you? Like, when you think about what's next, do you have any ideas, or is it something you'll just explore as it comes?
Well, I would like to. I'm getting a little bit tired of being of doing all this because it's very time consuming too. So in the future, well, it was graduated because when we opened, I used to do everything from I was the cleaning girl, the cook, the receptionist, the maintenance. Okay, with my husband, of course. Then I got a cleaning girl. Then we got a receptionist. Then we got a cook. Then we got the staff. So in the future, I just want. I would like to have a house that is not at the property of the hotel.
Okay, because now you live here?
I live about in over there.
Okay.
I have a beautiful view. But it's still in my work.
Yeah.
Which is on one side it's good because I'm really close to everything.
Yeah.
But then also I am
because you can never
too
separate
close
yourself.
to everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't really have time off.
Okay.
So and I would probably still be a part of something in the hotel, but I would like to dedicate my time to art.
Art.
I really want to.
What form of art?
I like to pay. I like to draw,
Okay.
and maybe I would like to do something else. Maybe I would like to do also some things with wood. I feel that I want to make
So
something
interesting.
with art. Yeah.
Well, you can always have a gallery in your hotel.
Before, when there was not, it's right now. I'm very busy with all the internet stuff because it's every time it's more and more.
Like social media, marketing.
So
Okay.
and also like before we didn't have 10 rooms, we had 5. So it's more and more busy and before I used to draw during the low season.
Yeah.
So I would do things that are always good for the lodge, even like the little signs and everything. And now I don't really have time for that. And even I was pregnant just a couple of years ago, and I said, while I'm pregnant, I'm gonna draw.
Okay.
And I didn't, because I didn't have time.
Yeah.
So I think in the future, I just want to draw, and I want to. I really want to travel.
Okay.
To travel more. I've been traveling through Europe So that part is already
yeah.
covered. My husband is from Argentina, so we went to Argentina, which is, by the way, a very beautiful country.
Yes.
Amazing. And then, I just want to
Explore the rest
explore
of the
the
world.
rest of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there's so many things somebody can learn from traveling, whether it's the people they meet along the way or the cultural things. It's very interesting experience.
I think this is what I really want for my sons. I want them to travel.
Yeah.
I want them to go and explore the world, because this is where I actually learn the most.
Yeah, I agree. If I was to do things for myself, if I was to look back and do things differently, I'll travel more.
It's also like I can see it because lots of people that came through here, they're traveling. They just take 1 year off from the school and they go and travel. And and they're usually very successful in the life.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. So is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience? Anything that comes to your mind that you think would be like a good takeaway for anybody listening to this right now?
Well, I think that if there is a lot of people maybe that are in the same that I was 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah, and a job they don't like.
And a job they don't like, and they have a dream, they want to experience something, they should go for it.
Okay.
They should definitely go for it. In a worst case, they just go back to what they did before. But everything good, everything new is good for some. So changes are not bad. Changes are good.
There's a lot of truth for that. People are usually scared of the unknown, but usually that's where growth takes place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Incredible.
It's also, like we bought a piece of land and we are thinking about building a house.
Yeah.
And I am a little bit scared of it because I would have to go away from here. So it's also like a step that I'm gonna have to
Get used to.
Yeah,
of course.
But I will. I'm convincing myself to
let go
to
of
look
your
for
baby. Like this
Yeah.
is your baby,
Yes.
essentially.
This is my baby.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is so interesting. Well, thank you so much for your time. I know you're such a busy woman, so just giving me a little bit of your time is so much appreciated. I really enjoyed chatting with you today, Gabriela. Go enjoy the sun. So this concludes the interview with Gabriela, and I hope you had lots of insights for yourself and for the life that you wanted to lead. I look forward to hearing from you and to listen to your stories. But for now, I'll let you go, and I look forward to future episodes where we can learn, grow, and most importantly, get real together. Take care, everybody.